What's up, everybody? You are very welcome along to this evening's Late Night Agenda, the early show, before we kick off tonight with myself, James Redmond and Steve Bland. Now, as you might be aware, I'm 3 minutes late. Whose fault is it? Of course, it's Connor's fault, ladies and gentlemen, because he had the wrong stream key in. I always take the flak, but it's never really down to me. I'm always on time, me. Always on time. How are we, everybody? Loads to get through, and I mean, there is really loads to get through today. Thankfully, we've done it. We've got over the weekend with no Liverpool. We've got over the international football weekend. Yes, there is still games to go, but we get through the weekend. The weekend's a difficult part for me, isn't it? So yeah, we're here, we're there, we're ready. We're ready to go. Look ahead to the Arsenal game. We'll talk about Steven Gerrard. We'll talk about transfer links. With this show, ladies and gentlemen, it is whatever you want it to be. You guys let me know what you want to talk about, and I'll go through it and go whatever you want. So look, as you are aware, we are brought to you today with thanks to our friends at manscaped.com. Christmas is coming, time to get the gifts in. The perfect gift, the Performance Package 4.0, featuring the Lawnmower 4.0, the Weed Whacker 4.0, the ball toner, the ball deodorant, the boxer brief, the shed travel bag, or the 2-in-1 body wash if you want to get that separately, or the 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner. So many things to choose from. The good news is you can get 20% off and free shipping this Christmas with our discount code WFM20, and your balls will thank you. Right, ladies and gentlemen, how are we? I see we had one smart arse in the chat still talking about 7-2. My God, have we not moved on from 7-2? Surely we've moved on from the 7-2, my man. I mean, I'm always happy to talk about that 7-2. That 7-2 made my career. So yeah, let's talk about whatever you want. Barcelona haven't got money, said Fraser. Let's start with that one then. Let's start exactly what Fraser is talking about there. So, you might see the headline today and see what the hell is going on here. Barcelona and Xavi want Mohamed Salah badly. Right, probably the case, but I would imagine almost every manager of every football club in Europe would want Mohamed Salah badly. As our friend Fraser rightly points out, they ain't got the money. Now, no, I'm not talking about the Reds ain't got no money and we'll still win the league type of ha-ha. I mean, literally, no money. I think 10 million is the transfer budget that he's working with. So I don't know why this keeps coming up, and it does keep coming up, and it's not just from one source in Spain, it's from multiple sources. The only thing I can think of, but I don't even know how this ties together, is that it could be just to kind of get FSG to hurry up and renew his contract. But even at that, that would mean that we're all admitting that his agent or Mohamed Salah are planting these stories, and I don't think that's the case. So I'm genuinely baffled, because surely nobody in their right mind believes that Xavi Hernandez, Barcelona and their board have the money right now to even tempt Mohamed Salah away from Liverpool. Because even if Liverpool didn't renew his contract and it was next summer, he's still going to be a £100 million player, even with 1 year left on his deal. So I don't understand why these stories are being written. I don't understand why anybody in their right mind would believe them. And we all know the rebuilding job that's on at Barcelona. So I think we can safely say, ain't going to happen. They've got no money and they're not going to get Mohamed Salah. But it is a continuous link since Xavi has come in there. And do you know what? I'm going to do a new segment starting from tomorrow or the next day. And it's going to be called Barcelona Xavi Bullshit Island Watch, or something along those lines, where I'm going to update all the bullshit links to players, to Barcelona and Xavi, because yesterday alone I read seven links for players that he's apparently desperate to sign. Got no money, not going to be signing them. It's as simple as that. So again, media, stop writing the bullshit, then we won't have to discuss the bullshit and we can get back to talking about the important stuff, like how many goals Mohamed Salah is going to score for the Reds this season, the next season and the season after that. So yeah, we can absolutely say in no uncertain terms that Barcelona ain't got a fucking penny to go and buy Mohamed Salah. It isn't happening, so there we go. Will there be a watch-along tonight, Craig? For what? I don't give a shiny shit about the England game, mate. So no, there absolutely will not be a watch-along of England against, was it Andorra or some other also ran? No, mate. The big game was last night and the Republic of Ireland beat the might of Luxembourg by 3-0, don't you know, sir? Craig, follow Barca. Is that an instruction, a question, or a statement? I know pretty much all I need to know about Barcelona, thank you, sir. I've been following the football club from a distance for most of my life. Salah wants to stay. Of course he does. Salah will stay. I don't see any situation, Chris, where Mohamed Salah doesn't stay at Liverpool Football Club. We'll talk about the deal as it gets closer, but for me, I think if I'm being really honest about it and really cold about it, I can see this being our January transfer news. So as much as we all hope and want for players to come in January, I can see the Mohamed Salah situation being resolved in January. And I'm hoping, actually, do you know what? To be honest with you, I'm hoping before January. I'm hoping it's done before he heads off for the AFCON. The date of which still hasn't been decided, by the way. So there's still talk about the guys heading off on the 27th of December. Most of the clubs around Europe and the Premier League are trying to fight the case to keep them for an extra week, which would, make them miss at least 2 or 3 less games. So fingers crossed, common sense prevailed. Because there is a battle going on right now behind the scenes between the clubs and the national teams about when to release the players or what date they should be released. So we'll wait and see how that one figures out. But look, common sense, I think if the players went around the 3rd of January, that would give the clubs, I think, maybe 4 games, 5 games max without the players. Whereas if they went 27th, for us in particular, some very tough fixtures there that we'd be without the lads for. Smith Boy FC said, keep up the great content, Craig. Much love. Thank you, sir. Really appreciate that one. God, I've got loads of images today to bring up to talk about. So, Tsimikas on international duty. Ladies and gentlemen, I didn't think it was possible for somebody to put pressure on Andy Robertson, but Tsimikas, here's just a few of his stats in his game for Greece against Kosovo. 82 touches, 83% pass accuracy, 7 chances created, 7 key passes, 5 recoveries, and a man-of-the-match performance. Tsimikas just keeps going from strength to strength, and I'm very interested in how this battle between himself and Andy Robertson for the left-back position takes shape, because I have to be honest, I didn't think anybody would ever be able to challenge Robbo, but Tsimikas really is in a good vein of form right now, and for me, and it is just my opinion, I think he should start against Arsenal. I do. It's at Anfield. I think it's a game that will suit his attributes, and I'd like to see him get the start against Arsenal on Saturday. Obviously, love to know what you guys think about it. But those stats, again, just show he is in a good place right now. And of course, playing with his national team, you'd expect him to play with heart, desire, passion. But those stats, and I'm not one that really uses stats very often, but those stats do just show you what a good mood or what a good piece of form he's in right now. Craig, I love you. Thank you, Paul. Can you have a watch along tomorrow, the Netherlands, Norway? No, I did. I think I promised somebody tomorrow I would do Wales, Belgium. I'm fairly sure I said I'd do Wales, Belgium tomorrow. So I'll talk to Connor about that one later on, but I'm almost certain that I had promised somebody I'd do the Wales, Belgium game on Craig Station. Good news, ladies and gentlemen, is, as I told you the other day, James Redmond has now signed up the Anfield Agenda to do more content with us, which is absolutely brilliant. We love it. James is going to be doing a whole variety of shows, some with me, some on his own. So James Redmond will be hosting a couple of shows a week on his own. Actually, one of them will be with Paddy Murphy, James Redmond and Paddy Murphy. But James is going to be hosting some shows, so I want you to show him the love and respect, of course, that you show me and everybody else. Get behind him and don't be asking him where I am if he comes on, because the whole beauty of what we're doing here at Anfield Agenda is I want to give everybody an opportunity. I want to give everybody a chance to show what they can do. So I know you'll get behind James, because James is goddamn good at what he does. I reckon our front three for Arsenal should be Jota, Origi and Salah. We'll have to look at the injury situation, mate, to be honest with you, before we look at, obviously, Mane had been sent back to Liverpool to get a scan, I think, on the rib injury that he sustained while away with Senegal. So, yeah, we obviously hope that there's good news there. Jordan Henderson, another one, unfortunately, that has injury concerns ahead of the game. Thank you, Chris. Chris says, nice hoodie. Thank you, mate. My wife bought it for me. Right, what else have we got? Here's something that I think is going to make your heads melt. I know I don't want to be saying this, but I do think this is going to make you as angry as it potentially made me. Klopp has a slight, this is coming from Ben Boskak, by the way, it said Klopp has a slight shortage of attacking options, a situation that will only be exacerbated as the AFCON rolls around, and that could give Neco Williams a chance in a more advanced role. Liverpool could well discover their very own Gareth Bale in the process. I don't know how I feel about this. On one hand, I do agree that Neco Williams does seem to have something about him in the final third. I'll agree to that, but I think trying to turn Neco Williams into or compare him to another Gareth Bale, I don't think he has the physical attributes to be a Gareth Bale. Let's be honest about it. Part of Gareth Bale was that strength and pace of his when he got up. He's a big physical lad, good in the air, very strong running the channels and stuff. So I don't think that Neco Williams will be a Gareth Bale, but I wanted to get your take on that scenario with the AFCON coming up, with the fact that Jurgen Klopp is going to have less attacking options available to him. Is Neco Williams a good show? I mean, we've seen him against Atletico Madrid, I believe, if my memory's right, got a good assist. And we have seen him utilised, I think, in the League Cup as well, if my memory's right. Jurgen Klopp brought him on and played, I think he put Conor Bradley back to right back and moved Neco Williams into an advanced role. And look, against that calibre of opposition, he was fantastic. He did a really good job and it was promising. But there's a big difference between doing that against Preston North End in the League Cup and doing that against Chelsea, Manchester City, in the Champions League. So, well, to be fair, there won't be any Champions League football when the AFCON is on. But in the FA Cup, perhaps, the latter stages of the League Cup and in some of those big Premier League games, it's a big drop-off, with all due respect, from having, let's say, Mohamed Salah on the right-hand side of a front three to having Neco Williams on the right-hand side of a front three. So, yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. Obviously, doesn't matter how I feel about it. All that matters is how Jurgen Klopp feels about it. To me, look, you know where I'm going with this. Squad depth, straight away. First thing I'm going to say. Origi deserves a chance. Such a baller. Well, I mean, let's not go over the top here. Origi, does he deserve a chance? I think yes. I think his form this season, when he's come on, has been much better than in previous campaigns. I think his finish, the last game, was absolutely phenomenal against West Ham. I think it'll probably go under the radar, but it was a top-tier finish from a very, somebody who Pep Linders described as a world-class finisher. So I do agree that Origi deserves a run out. Absolutely, I think that's fair. Baker, but I mean, I wouldn't be calling him a baller. I don't think he's, I think the jury's out on Divock Origi. Neco Williams as a winger, that shows our squad depth. That was my first thought, Luke. Yeah, unfortunately, mate, not to knock Neco, because as I said, Neco has showed promising signs. He has. To say otherwise, I think, would be disingenuous, but, it's a big difference between Preston North End in the League Cup and then replicating that against, a top fullback. So, I don't know. Liz said too much pressure for a young player. He's not a right back, maybe right or centre mid though, said Mr. John W. Henry. Well, in this conversation we will be looking at him as a winger, I would say, probably. Neco Williams needs a loan and he'll develop, said Chris. I mean, I think that's a fair comment, Chris. Look, whatever way we dress this up, there's no getting away from the lack of squad depth. That's all these solutions that Jurgen Klopp speaks about have to be found. No argument. He has to find solutions for this period of time. But for us as football fans and Liverpool fans, the solution should be to talk transfers, to talk money. And later on tonight, I'm going to run through the figures in a little bit more detail when I've got when I've got James and Steve with me. Excuse me. I'm holding back some of the information that I have for later on tonight, but we'll go into it in a lot more details with regards to the numbers and how much we could potentially have to spend in the transfer window. But whatever way we dress this up, for me, I just think, with all due respect to Neco Williams, somebody who the club were happy, let's not forget, the club were happy to move Neco Williams on in the summer if he pushed for that transfer after the Euros with Wales. Because the rumour was that he wanted more first-team football and that he was going to go in search of that first-team football. So even if this little cameo over the course of the AFCON worked out, he's still not going to displace Mohamed Salah. And he's still not going to be of the calibre of forward or attacking threat that we need. So I still think it is an indictment of our squad depth. Because we have 4 top quality attacking players. Divock Origi, usable, definitely. Takumi Minamino probably again falling further down the pecking order. So whatever way we try and dress this up, to me it's just an indictment of our squad depth again. Do you have any news on Sadio? Not yet, no. As soon as we do, Hayden, of course we'll let you know. And don't worry about I've been annoying people to try and find out for you. But well, not for you in particular, Hayden, but I have been trying to find out as much as I can. What about the Mo Salah contract situation? Hand on heart, I won't tell you any lies, Louis. I have not heard a thing, mate. You know, you'll get people who will spoof you on these things. I'll be honest with you, dude. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I hope and think he'll sign the new contract, but I don't have any information on it. What's the reason for our inability to sell fringe players, said the offensive defender. Partly down to the fee that the club want for the players. I can't speak about this particular group, but I know in the past when we had the likes of Lazar Markovic and players on the books, it was their high wages that we brought them in on that was part of the issue, and the part of the reason why we had so many players whose contracts ran down or we just let go for free. It's because, you know, in those days we had to take gambles on players, and when you weren't playing in the highest caliber of the Champions League season after season, you wanted to attract players who have potential. You were usually paying over the odds and wages for them. The club have tried to put that right with the way that they now do their contracts, and to be fair to them, it is a lot better. But the fees that we're demanding for these players aren't fees that other clubs at the moment, whether it be because of a COVID world or because of the way the finances are, aren't willing to pay. So Origi as an example, Neco Williams as an example, Shaqiri for quite a while. So yeah, it's just basically down to the club wanting to get a specific fee. Who's been performing better this season, Hendo or Keita? I mean, very differing roles, particularly if you look at the fact that Henderson has been deployed in the 6 and the 8 and on the right-hand side of midfield as well in occasion, whereas Naby Keita, his role is usually off the left-hand side of midfield. I will agree that it hasn't been Hendo's best season so far. You know, it's still relatively early. But I think it's a hard question because, again, we haven't seen enough of Naby Keita to really give a fair assessment, I think. Why is Jota out? He had a knock, mate. He had a knock. Again, we'll have more information as and when we get it, but we'll talk about... Don't worry about the Arsenal game yet. We'll build up to that as the week goes on. We'll talk about possible 11s and all that stuff when we have the full information, when Klopp has had his press conferences and stuff, and we know exactly what's going on. Is the offensive defender calling me a Jota hater? You what now? Me? Oh, is that Gerrard lad? Sorry, I thought you were talking to me. I was like, I never said a bad word about Diogo Jota. No, I think you were talking about Gerrard or somebody else. But I think when he meant Jota out, he means out injured. But if you're talking about me being a Diogo Jota hater, fucking nothing could be further from the truth. In fact, I just bought a signed Diogo Jota shirt. So, yeah. Nothing could be further from the truth. Do you think Harvey Elliott can play as a replacement for Salah during this time of the AFCON? I don't know. And look, can he play there? Yes, no doubt about that. But I know the reason you're asking the question is, and I'm sure you guys probably seen this in social media as well today, he has stepped up his rehab. So he is now out running around the pitches at Kirby, which is brilliant. Great to see that Harvey Elliott's rehab has stepped up. He's now out around exactly 2 months, I believe, since that injury. I think it was the 16th of September. So it's great to see Harvey Elliott now out putting some weight on it, out running around the pitches of Kirby. I don't know. I'd be lying to you if I gave you a timescale of exactly when he'll be back. I don't think anybody will be able to give you that one. But, you know, fingers crossed. I mean, what are we now? 6 weeks? I mean, I would say yes, potentially. 6 weeks away when he's already starting to put weight on the foot. I think yes. I think I would if I was to have an educated guess in it, I would say yeah. I would say he should be available, and I've no doubt that he could do a role there. 100%, absolutely. Craig, did you hear about the Daniel Malin stuff? I did, Hayden. So if people are wondering what Hayden is talking about, the Dortmund manager and the Dortmund sporting director Michael Zorc have been a little bit frustrated at Daniel Malin's ability to settle into the Bundesliga since his move from the Eredivisie, from PSV Eindhoven to Borussia Dortmund. I think he's only scored 1 goal in 17 appearances, something like that. Which goes to show sometimes it's not just that we miss out on a player. Sometimes it's that the great Jurgen Klopp and Michael Edwards and Dave Fallows and the rest of the recruitment team, sometimes they might just spot things in a player that we don't. Maybe, they knew that his personality type wasn't going to be right to adjust and fit in the Premier League. And, these are things that we as football fans really don't think about because we don't have a need to think about. We just look at a player doing well, which Daniel Malin was at both Eindhoven and with the Dutch national team. And we think, oh, why aren't we in for this guy? He was only X amount of money. And yes, he is represented by Mina Raiola, so there was that part of it as well. But I will just reiterate what I've said before. There aren't too many players that we've been strongly linked with that we haven't signed that have gone on to make us look foolish. I think one thing, we criticise the recruitment, and rightly so, but I think on this topic, I think the club get it right more often than not, in fairness to them. I think that Daniel Malin right now, like the Bundesliga, as good a league as it isn't the Premier League. So if he's struggling to settle in there, I think it's fair to say he would probably be having this similar headache if he'd come to the Premier League. So I think for Klopp and the recruitment team, another one that they've got right there. Doesn't excuse the fact that we should have brought in a forward, but I think on that occasion, spot on. And I think we've got to give them credit for that. My nan loves your videos. Yes, Craig, the nan's favourite. Love it. Craig's got no money, but he's the nan's favourite. You love to see it. Do you think Klopp will get more out of Werner? Yes. And let me tell you why I believe Klopp will get more out of Werner. So Thomas Tuchel, clearly a very good tactical coach. I don't get the vibe from Thomas Tuchel. Could be wrong. Could be absolutely wrong on this. But for me, Klopp, I think, would put the arm around Timo Werner's shoulder and show him a more human side, which I feel Timo Werner would need. And I don't get that vibe off Thomas Tuchel. Now, of course, I'm not in the Chelsea dressing room. Thomas Tuchel could be the most jovial, loving person in the world, but he doesn't come across that way in interviews and when I've seen him. Whereas I think Jurgen Klopp would put his arm around Timo Werner's shoulder and would get better out of him, yes. Right, what else have we got? I have a few more images here that I want to check. So Stevie G's been talking about coming to Anfield with Aston Villa, and he's admitted that he won't be able to control the noise or the media coverage or the attention around his reunion with Liverpool Football Club when he comes with Aston Villa. Speaking about it, Stevie said, "It is what it is. I want to win every game. Now my priority, my focus, and everything that I will give on a daily basis will be for Aston Villa." No surprise there. That's exactly what you would hope and expect a manager in the Premier League to say. It will be very interesting when Villa come to Anfield and when Liverpool play them, and I'll be intrigued to... Well, look, I won't be intrigued to see how the Kop at Anfield react. I will react by giving the man a standing ovation because it's Steven fucking Gerrard. That's what you do. But again, I expected no different from Stevie on that one. Should we test the Manx waters with a cheeky 60 billion, or 60 million, not 60 billion, for Sancho? No. Look, let's be honest about this. United aren't selling us Jadon Sancho for 60 million, 70 million, 80 million, 90 million, or 100 million. They're just not going to do that deal. They're going to have to make Jadon Sancho fit into their system at some point and somehow, some way. Interestingly, though, I wanted to get your take on the reports, and again, please do put your comments in the chat on this one, of Brendan Rodgers apparently house hunting in and around the Cheshire area as move to Manchester United gather pace. I don't know if it'll happen. There's been other reports that suggest that that Ronaldo has been asked to sound out Zinedine Zidane about the Manchester United job. Just on Rodgers though, what would be your take if Brendan Rodgers took the Manchester United job? I mean, it would be way different to my take on Rafa Benitez taking the Everton job, if I'm being honest with you. Well, I think Rafa's importance to the city of Liverpool is above football. You know, what he and his amazing wife have done for the city of Liverpool from a charitable perspective, I think goes way and above football. So for me, if Rodgers took the United job, I would view it differently. I have to say, I certainly would be a lot more critical of Brendan Rodgers than I would have been about Rafael Benitez taking the Everton job. There's so many reasons why I can understand Rafa taking the Everton job, mainly because I know how much he loves living in the city of Liverpool. But yeah, if Brendan Rodgers took the United job, would I be worried about it? To a certain extent, yes, because I do think that Rodgers is a good coach, but we all know what his Achilles heel is. His Achilles heel is European football. It's the one thing he's never really been able to get right during his time at both Liverpool and Celtic, and I suppose to some extent his time at Leicester City as well. Half the United fans are already Rodgers out and he hasn't even got the job yet. Oh, that makes me smile so much, mate. Honestly. Hasn't even got the job yet and they're already wanting him out. Do you know what? Let's give him the fucking dream ticket. Solskjaer and Rodgers together and, you know, we'll all get behind it. What can we say? Do you know what I mean? Oh, God, yes. Craig, we're getting linked with Kylian Mbappe again, said Hayden. Yeah, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, Hayden. You know, I can get on board the Jude Bellingham Express. I can drive that motherfucker, but I can't get on board the Kylian Mbappe train. Even me, as delusional as I am, dude, and I am rather delusional a lot of the time, you know, I can't even give you a chew on Kylian Mbappe. Do you know what I mean? It's he has spoken about the possibility of leaving Paris Saint-Germain at the end of the season, and we know his contract is up at the end of this season, so in January, as an example, he could sign a pre-contract agreement with any club outside of France. So, plausibly, maybe, realistically, it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Craig, don't clickbait. I haven't clickbaited anything, you fucking gobshite. Every little gobshite like you does my fucking head in. Do you know what clickbait is, you little dickhead? Clickbait is me saying Barcelona are signing Mohamed Salah and you come in and I go, they're not signing Mohamed Salah. What I do is get an article, take a line from the article, put it in the title of the stream, and then I give you the fucking information when you watch the stream. If you don't watch the stream, you just come in and go, fuck off. Watch the stream, find out the information, or shut the fuck up. It's as simple as that. I don't get it, like, you don't know what clickbait is. I will clickbait the shit out of it if you want. I'd be twice as big. Trust me, there's been days I've sat here when we've been going through a lull going, Jesus, I could get on board this clickbait malarkey because I'd probably double our viewers, but I have a conscience, dude. And I've always been honest and open since day one. Every single title of our streams, I will back up with an article and tell you exactly where it came from. So, do you know what I mean? Just give me some credit. Because I do a lot of shit. Tell me I talk bollocks, I'll say, yeah, no problem. But don't accuse me of clickbait because I don't do it. And another thing, by the way, just as another thing, I don't do the titles for the streams. I don't pick them. That's Connor's department. I just show up and the sermon begins. Do you know what I mean? I just show up and I just empty out the vessel of football knowledge that is my brain and just put it out into the world. Do you know what I mean? Just put it out into the world. It's up to you then. If you ingest it, if you soak it up like a sponge, or if you jump up and down like a petulant little child. Each to their own. Do you know what I mean? Craig, did you see Ronaldo crying? I did. It was good, wasn't it? It was good. Go on, let's be honest. It was good. I mean, look, I'll give Cristiano Ronaldo credit for the lovely gesture to the young lady who ran on in Dublin. A young girl ran onto the pitch, came up to Cristiano Ronaldo. Security was about to stop her. In fairness to Cristiano, he said, leave her be, gave her a hug, gave her his jersey. Beautiful gesture. Fair play. Top lad on that one. But seeing him crying after Mitrovic scored the header and they're gone into the playoff, that did make me smile. I mean, I'd be fucking lying to you if I told you it didn't. God bless you, Alexander Mitrovic. God bless you, sir. It was because of the cheating and the diving and the rolling and the bitching and the whining and the moaning. I was a pain in my arse watching Ireland playing Portugal twice. So yeah, brilliant. I love it. Hey Craig, have you talked about Elliott yet? Just a little bit, mate. We were just saying that he was back out doing some running around Kirby. Thank you, Jen. You're really, really kind. Craig, you are the best. Fact. I'm in a good mood today, Jen. I'm in a good mood. I'm having fun today, and I'm really looking forward to tonight's stream with Steve and James. You know, we haven't spoke to Mr. Bland in a few weeks, so that one's going to be fun. Yeah, on that, big man. So there's been conflicting stories about about that girl, because I believe she was on the radio and there was talk of a €3,000 fine for the young girl that ran onto the pitch. But the FAI put out a statement to say that the young girl needn't worry, that there was no fine coming their way. Actually, while we're talking about this, can I give a massive shout out to somebody? And I don't really give shout outs too much from my own perspective. Gavin Bazunu, absolute hero of a man. So, as you know, I'm a goalkeeper, was a goalkeeper, and, you know, enjoy a good goalkeeping performance and a good goalkeeping career. And I've been blown away by Gavin Bazunu and the save that he made against Luxembourg. And this happened before he made the save, but the save that he made against Luxembourg the other day, one of the best saves I've ever seen from an Irish goalkeeper. I've watched it back over and over again. The young man started off his career with Shamrock Rovers, is a Manchester City player, is on loan now at Portsmouth. So I think the guy's destined for the top. So I asked and reached out to a friend if he would sign an Ireland goalkeeper's jersey if I posted one over to him. And to his eternal credit, and God bless the man, he gave me the address to send the jersey to, and he's going to sign it and send it back to me. And it is going to take pride of place in my living room. So Gavin Bazunu, thank you, sir. It means the world. It really does to see. I want a Caoimhín Kelleher one as well. But yeah, to see the depth of talent of Irish goalkeepers, I'm absolutely blown away by it. So thank you to Gavin Bazunu for that one. And yeah, I'm very much looking forward to having that jersey take pride of place in my living room. So yeah, great talent. And I feel really bad for Caoimhín Kelleher because another unbelievable talent. But Bazunu was undroppable at the minute. He's phenomenal. I don't know anything, Derek, about the Mo Salah contract situation. No. Hush Hobbity said, I was hoping the shout out was for me. Not this time, my man, not this time. No, Bazunu, what a save. If you haven't seen the save, I know it's only Luxembourg and it'll go under the radar, but as a former keeper, I was in awe. Absolutely in awe of it. Like, took a deflection, reset his feet, and still get the hand. Amazing. Craig, do you think Liverpool haven't spent a cent in the last 2 years because they're saving up to fund the 25 million move for Bowen, Pulisic's personal doctor? On that, mate, tonight I'm going to go into the numbers around our transfer business a lot more. I do have, I've got information on different positions and what times they peak in. I've got information around finances and stuff like that I've been gathering over the past few days. So tonight, I'm saving it for the primetime show. Do you know what I mean? With James Redmond and Steve Bland. So come back to us, 8:45 tonight, and I will talk you through the transfer business and we'll talk through the possibilities of what Liverpool can or can't do, how much money we can get away with spending, and all that type of stuff. But do I think that we could afford 25 million for Bowen? I don't think they would take 25 million for Bowen. I think it would probably take 40 million upwards for Jarrod Bowen. But yes, I do think we could afford it. And yes, I do think it will be a decent bit of business, actually. How long is Mane's injury? No, the truth is, Ibrahima, my man, nobody knows yet, mate. Yeah, nobody knows, so we're waiting to see when the scan is done, because he travelled back. Obviously didn't play in Senegal second game, came off very early in the first game. He has travelled back to Liverpool. He will be assessed by the club's medical team, and yeah. Craig, would you swap Thiago and Ox for Pedri? God, yes. 100% yes. I think anybody with half a brain cell would. I mean, we can talk about how good Thiago is, and he is amazing, unbelievable. We can talk about how good Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain can be, but you're talking about Pedri, who is going to be one of the greatest midfielders in Europe over the next 10 to 15 years. So, yes, I would. Craig, love your content. Thank you very much. Caleb, who will replace Salah if he leaves? Plus, how long does Robertson's injury have left? Roberto. Sorry, Roberto. I read that wrong. Roberto's injury have left. Again, on Bobby Firmino, forgive me if I'm wrong on this one. I don't think the club, you might get it in me, but I don't think the club have put out an exact timescale. So I don't know on Bobby Firmino, but I certainly wouldn't expect Bobby Firmino to play until maybe mid-December. At a guess, that is just a guess. For the situation with Mohamed Salah, I don't even want to contemplate him leaving. Caleb, I don't mean to be rude to you, mate, by not answering. I refuse to acknowledge the idea of Mohamed Salah leaving. Yeah, I just go into meltdown mode. All I can think of is the day, and I will compare it to the day where Virgil van Dijk held up that Liverpool shirt in front of the Christmas tree. You know, that's the moment we're all waiting for. That level of Mohamed Salah moment where bing bang bosh, it's done. There's the video, and we're all celebrating. And I'm looking forward to that stream. I really am. Craig, I think swapping Thiago and Oxford Pedri is something Barca might actually do. They won't. Now, will Barca want Thiago back? I think so. You know, I think there's something to that, mate. So, again, I talked about Barca watch and how many players will be linked because Xavi is back there, but there has been talk that he would love Thiago Alcantara to come back in there and help spearhead a new Barca revolution. You know, I'm sure he would like Thiago Alcantara. Thiago's a Barcelona former great player, so I can understand it. And for me, look, I'll be really honest about it. I don't know where I sit on the Thiago situation at the minute because, you know, the transfer fee was relatively modest, 25 million quid, but we haven't really got to judge Thiago yet. You know, we've seen bits here, bits there, some good, some bad, some in the middle. And I'd love to see him get through 3 months consistently playing, even if he's only playing one game a week, and then be able to really say, right, we know where Thiago is now. We know, because we don't know, I don't know how he best fits into that Liverpool midfield, because we haven't seen enough of whatever Jurgen Klopp's best midfield trio might be. And, you know, off the top of your head, you'd say Fabinho, Henderson, Thiago, but there's probably arguments to say that it could be Fabinho, Elliott, Thiago, or, you know, maybe Fabinho, Keita, Thiago. I don't know. But yeah, I'd like to see more of them. Craig, Thiago or Bellingham? Bellingham. I'll usually always err to the side of youth in these conversations. So, you know, when I say Bellingham, it's not because I think right now Bellingham's a better midfielder than Thiago. I just think that Bellingham has his entire career ahead of him, isn't as injury prone, and will continue to progress. Again, though, we'll get into this tonight when we talk about players' age brackets and stuff like that as well. Hayden asks a really good question, and before I finish up, I want to ask this to the chat. Would you take Dembele? Because I wouldn't. He's too injury prone. So Ousmane Dembele's Barcelona contract runs out at the end of this season, I believe. And there's going to be a lot of clubs being linked with him as long as Barca haven't been able to tie him down to a new deal. Barca do want to tie Dembele down to a new deal, but finances. So I guess the question is, I've seen a story that suggests that Liverpool would sign Ousmane Dembele, would give him a 20 million euro signing on bonus, and then obviously whatever his wages might be. So would you guys be happy if Liverpool did that? If Liverpool said, okay, let's bring in Ousmane Dembele, we'll give him a 20 million euro signing on bonus. So let's say that 20 million in our heads equates to a transfer fee. And then you've got his wages. What you saying, yes or no? Genuinely, I'm intrigued to see what you think. What are you shiting on about? Don't want a racist at our club. Either say what you have to say or shut the fuck up, mate. Do you know what I mean? Don't give us these half-arsed bullshit statements. Either stop being a pussy and say what you want to say, Jerusalem Syndrome, or shut the fuck up, mate. Do you know what I mean? No time for your little pansy fucking half-arsed one thing or the other. Just jump on it, mate. Do you know what I mean? Just make the fucking statement or shut up. So who's the racist, dude? Come on. Tell us who the racist is that you don't want at the club, because these half statements you're just the epitome of a trolling little shit, aren't you? So I'm not even going to give you a chance to react. Just get fucked. It's as simple as that. If he's injury prone, that suits us. Pay-per-play contract. No footballer is ever going, and no footballer at his age is going to sign a pay-per-play contract. Nobody. I'll tell you that out straight. None of them will do it. Why would they? They know they can get guaranteed income. So, you know, if you're looking at a pay-for-play contract, usually in them type of scenarios, you're looking at a midfielder or an attacker at latter stages of his careers, knows that he's injury prone, you know, might play 20 games a season. That's, you know, and even at that, they're rare. We've got too many injury prone players already, said Falafel, which is a fair point. Scorp _ said, I would take Dembele because he can play on either wing, which Klopp's a big fan of. Yeah, from a stylistic and ability level, I think Ousmane Dembele has it, but I do understand absolutely people's reluctance because of his injury track record, or maybe even because of his behavioural track record. Bellingham or Haaland, both, please. If you know, both, why not? As Khan said, if we don't strengthen this January, we are fecked because of the attackers that we need. Here's what gets me though, Ayaz, about that. Not about your statement, dude. Your statement's fine. I don't understand why we even let it go to January. So we knew we were going to be in this position, and for me, and I think probably for you and for most of the Liverpool fans, when we look at the attacking situation we're going to have in January, it would have made sense to me to get that deal done in the summer, have the player fully bedded in and ready to go for the January window. Because, you know, even if we bring somebody in the January window with the AFCON coming up, even if you get them through the door fairly early in the window, you're still going to have to give them time to find somewhere to live, to bed in. Maybe they have language barriers, you know, they have to settle into the squad, they have to get up to Kloppo's level of fitness. So there's a lot of stuff in there that that makes me just think it doesn't make sense to do it in January. Craig, I'd love to have you take whether you could take Ward-Prowse at Liverpool. I would, yeah. No, I would. I think someone asked me about Ward-Prowse before. And look, it's not just because of his set-piece ability. I like James Ward-Prowse, and I like his attitude. And I remember seeing a piece about how Ralph Hasenhüttl came into the club and he told him that he wanted him to step up and become a leader. And he did, and he responded to it. And I love hearing that type of thing about a player. So yeah, I would have Ward-Prowse at Liverpool. Not saying he play week in and week out, but I certainly do think that he would be a fine utility player, fine squad player. Craig, if United gets Zidane, will United become a threat to the new top six? I love the way you said that, Anthony. Like, just straight away, 2-footed in. They're nowhere at the minute. Fair play, sir. I don't think Zidane takes the United job, to be honest with you. I really don't. AFCON will make and break our season. Agreed. Make or break our season. Yes. Not just the AFCON. I would go as far as to say that December, January is a time where I would worry regardless of the AFCON or not. So yeah, we'll wait and see. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave that one there because there's a load of stuff that I still want to talk about, but I want to hang off tonight. So 8:45 tonight, myself, James Redmond and Steve Bland will be back with the Cop the Week show. Hope to see you guys here for that one. I will let you guys know then exactly what game I'll be doing a watch along of tomorrow night as well. So really, really appreciate you coming in early doors, folks. Thank you all for your comment, for your time as always. Please do hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so. Drop a like on the video, and don't forget, Christmas is coming. Check out all the fantastic products with our friends at manscaped.com. Use our discount code WFM20 for 20% off anything store-wide and free shipping from our friends at manscaped.com. Love you guys. Thank you soon. Thank you soon. Thank you always. Talk to you soon.